What should you do if you're trying to get a second chance with your ex, but they've started to pull away or grow cold and distant? Now, how can you turn things around to make them miss you, want you, and change their mind about breaking up? Well, that's what I'll be covering right here in this very video. Now, I, of course, am Breakup Brad. I am YouTube's #1 breakup coach. And through my best-selling X Factor program and my one-on-one coaching, I've helped over 130,000 people reunite with an ex. Now, after this video is over, visit breakupbrad.com and watch my full free tutorial to learn many more techniques to make your ex want you back. But now, let's get into the topic at hand, which is what to do if your ex grows cold, becomes distant, or seemingly loses interest. Now, this kind of situation is really common, even if you've done everything right since the breakup. You've followed all the strategies that I recommend in my program and here in my YouTube videos. You've been patient, you've employed a period of no contact. Maybe you've even made some good progress with your ex and felt like you were starting to change their mind about the breakup. But then, you hit a brick wall and your ex starts taking longer to reply to your messages, or they ignore them altogether. They stop showing signs of interest, they start backing away or appear to be growing, more distant. Now, this is a scary situation for anyone hoping to get a second chance with their ex. But as you'll learn in this video, it definitely doesn't mean you should completely lose hope. Now, first of all, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. For most people facing this kind of situation, the danger is not that their ex is losing interest. It's what they typically do in response to their ex's cold and distant behavior. Because most people start to panic at this point, and they begin to make mistakes that only, serve to further hurt their chances. And really, that's because the natural instinct for anyone in this scenario is to chase their ex even more aggressively. They'll reach out to their ex more frequently, and you just sort of start becoming more and more desperate. Now, this is obviously the wrong way to handle things, but unfortunately, I see my clients make this mistake very regularly. So the right way to respond to this type of situation is to do absolutely nothing, which is, of course, the opposite of what every fiber in your body is telling you to do. You want to pick up the phone and call your ex, to ask what they're doing or why they suddenly canceled your plans to go for coffee. Fear of losing your ex makes you want to, tighten your grip even further and take action to stop the downward spiral. But really, you can't do that. You need to have the self-control to avoid making that mistake. The last thing you want to do if your ex suddenly seems to be backing away or losing interest is to try to actively prevent it. You can't show your ex that their coldness or apathy actually bothers you, and you can't show any signs of neediness or desperation. If you start spamming your ex, with multiple messages, if you begin asking them things like, hey, why aren't you responding? Or do you just hate me now? You're just going to make your ex even more irritated by pestering them, and your desperation will become very obvious. And of course, this in turn will slowly destroy the progress that you've made up to that point and make it more difficult to change how your ex feels about you and the possibility of getting back together. So if you recognize that you're in this kind of situation, here's what you need to do. Take a deep breath and do whatever you have to do in order to prevent yourself from panicking or taking any kind of drastic action. To begin with, don't contact your ex at all for at least a few days, or preferably even longer. Sometimes, depending on how far along you are in the process of winning him or her back, you might actually want to avoid contact for several weeks. Remember, pretty much anything that you try to do to actively change how your ex feels, or to try and stop them from growing cold and distant, is only going to have the opposite effect. Now, I know this is a lot harder in practice than it really sounds, especially if you're terrified that you might be losing them for good. But please trust me on this one. I've been a breakup coach for over 13 years, and I can promise you that if you start getting desperate or you pester your ex at this point, you're only going to put a nail in the coffin and you're going to kill your chances of ever getting them back. Now, if you need some encouragement and support, or if you need a second opinion on how to best navigate this kind of make or break situation, you can always sign up for a month of my personal coaching one-on-one and get my ongoing help. When you register for my coaching, you can share all the details of your specific situation, and then I'll work with you to create a plan to turn things around with your ex. So to learn more about coaching or sign up right now, just go to breakupbrad.com/coaching. Now, here are a few more tips for handling this kind of situation where your ex grows cold and distant. So tip number 1, don't talk about the situation with your friends or family if you can avoid it. This is especially true when it comes to mutual friends who might tell your ex if they hear you complaining about their sudden change of heart or their lack of interest. Number 2, keep yourself occupied and stay busy, because really otherwise you'll torture yourself by overanalyzing and worrying about everything that your ex says and does. It's best, to try and think about your ex as little as possible while you're in this situation. Talking about it with your friends might feel good, but it actually just fixates your thoughts on the issue and really causes your fears and anxiety to get even worse. Tip number 3, consider re-engaging in a period of no contact. So often ignoring your ex for a while, a week or two, for instance, can actually just solve this problem. It's common for people to have mixed feelings and up and down mood swings after a breakup, and quite frankly, your ex might just be in one of the down phases at the moment, hence their cold and distant behavior. At the very least, ignoring your ex when you sense him or her backing away is not going to make matters worse. And tip number 4, bring back some fun and humor to any interactions with your ex. So if you still get the sense that your ex is losing interest in backing away, even after you cut off contact for a while, then your next step is to break the ice with something fun, and super brief and casual. So for instance, don't reopen the lines of communication by asking your ex if they want to talk about the breakup. Well, actually, I don't recommend, ever saying that, but I think you know what I mean. Just don't say anything that's going to come across as needy, boring, or require an extensive response from your ex. Instead, just make him or her laugh. Share an inside joke or a short anecdote that happened to you today. Send them a link to a funny TikTok or meme, or even just bring up a happy, nostalgic memory that's going to bring a smile to your ex's face. Whatever it is, just keep it short, keep it upbeat and friendly. Act like there's nothing wrong and you're not worried or panicked about their recent cold behavior. These are the kinds of things that are going to make your ex want to talk to you, and then of course you can build on that from there. Tip number 5, always remember not to show any desperation or fall back into any old needy or clingy habits. So make your ex want to talk to you and be around you, and they're going to stop backing away and they're going to start to regain interest. Really, the more you try to tighten your grip on your ex and on the situation in general, the further you're going to push them away. But by being calm and collected and really acting like you don't care about them anymore, you're going to inject some urgency into the situation and make them wonder why you're not chasing after them like they're expecting. Tip number 6, take my free quiz at breakupbrad.com/quiz and follow the custom recommendations in your quiz results report. So when you take my 5-minute quiz, which is free, you'll see a detailed results report that explains your chances of getting them back, along with a series of specific recommended actions that you should be taking to maximize your odds with your ex moving forward. Again, you can take that quiz for free right now at breakupbrad.com/quiz. Okay, I think we will wrap this one up here. Please have faith in the advice that I've just shared with you in this video, and don't try to wing it or go with your gut. If you do need my help, you can sign up for my coaching anytime at breakupbrad.com/coaching, or you can also just drop a quick question in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks also for your likes and subscribes, and I will see you guys in the next video. Good luck out there.